28 cents on the ounce for silver. When was it ever 28 cents an ounce? And on that note, just a quick plug for my website, portsmouthcoinshop.com. I have several Morgan dollars. I have peace dollars coming up. I have a lot of commemoratives, proof sets, mint sets, nice Franklin half-dollar rolls. And come over here and check it out, and maybe you'll find something that you need. Contrary to what some people think, you don't separate a coin dealer and his business from the silver market, silver stacking, or any of the above. A coin dealer is not just dealing in coins. Matter of fact, I make as much money selling silver eagles and bullion as I do other coins, or at least volume-wise. I sell just as much, and I have to deal with it. I have to know how to buy it, where to buy it, when to buy it, and then people come in and ask me what they should buy and send me messages. So I have to know. And I do a lot of research, and I read a lot of articles. I watch some of the same YouTube videos that everybody else watches. But inevitably, I'm going to have people who disagree with me, and that's fine. But let's get down to the facts, okay? Let's get down to the brass tacks of the whole thing. Value. We put values on things. As a conglomeration of coin dealers, coin collectors, and stackers, however you want to define yourself, we determine what the value of something is based off of the demand we have for it and the desirability and the popularity. And that's the one thing about it. Value is relative. So once that's established, it doesn't matter whether it's paper currency, it doesn't matter whether it's a silver bar, it doesn't matter whether it's a Morgan dollar, it doesn't matter if it's an Indian head cent or a large cent or a nickel. We put the value on it based off of different criteria. That criteria can vary from person to person, company to company, okay? So once we have that established, this is all a perception thing, okay? We're looking at perceptions here. How I make money with silver is that I just buy it every single day that I can buy it. Because as a business, I'm maintaining inventory. So I buy it high, I buy it low, but I'm always buying it lower than what I can sell it for. That's the key for me to making money with silver. That's the easy way for me. All coin dealers across the United States are doing that. All of these big bullion dealers are doing the same thing. And they're dealing in volume like APMEX and S&D Bullion, JM Bullion, all of them. They're buying it lower than what they can sell it for. That's the real way of making money. So you're not a coin dealer, or you don't have access to buying it as low as a coin dealer or as a bullion company. How can you make money? Well, I can tell you this. Paying a premium for silver is not the best way to try to make money in the future. That's speculation. It could go up, it could go down. Okay. Typically, you want to have it back because that money could be wasted on other things. You might have paid a premium, you may resell it and lose some money, but you don't lose all your money. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with stacking. There's nothing wrong with collecting that way. There's nothing wrong with going to a coin dealer, supporting a coin shop, paying a couple dollars over, a few dollars over for a silver ounce or for a coin. And then maybe later on down the road, you decide you need to sell it and you still get back $20 out of the $25 you spent. That $25 would have probably been blown on something else that you'd never get your money back on. So it is better to buy silver or gold when you're out, buying. But as far as making money on it, really the only way, and let's put this as an example. Silver, a couple months ago when all this started happening with the pandemic, went down as low as 14 something an ounce. When it did that, if you could have went in and bought all of the ETFs, futures, or whatever you want to do, you get in your little stock market, you can get on Capital One Investing or whatever it is that you use online or your broker, and you just said, look, I want to buy 1,000 ounces or 100 ounces of silver right now. So you put your money in it. Okay, now today, when we look over here at Kitco, you can see that it's 1784. So if you would have waited to today and you did that and you bought that silver at 14 something an ounce, you can make about $3 an ounce. So after your fees, you sell it off and that money can go into your bank account. So for every ounce, you make $3. If you did 100 ounces, then you can do the math. If you did 1,000 ounces, you can do the math. That is the way the people with money are really making money on the silver without touching physical silver at all. If you're touching physical silver, then you need to be a business that's buying and selling to really make the money. And that's just the facts. That's the way it works. Now, just kind of interesting when I was doing some research, a lot of people have seen this chart. You want to click this button right here. Okay, you don't want to adjust it for inflation. You want to know the actual hard numbers. I get it, inflation can make it higher. But when you come down here in 1932, September of 1932, it was 28 cents an ounce. And I was sitting there thinking about this. Like, my dad was born in 1934, and I was like, what was it in 34? And I kind of creeped it over here. It was 48 cents an ounce when my dad was born, basically. He was born in September, so this is June. I'm sure that probably wasn't much different. And then it went to 64 cents in April. Now, if in 1932 you bought all the silver you could get a hold of and then waited until 1935, then you would have doubled your money on your silver holdings. But if you held it even longer and waited until December of 1941, then you didn't make much money at all. You made, basically 7 cents. And this is the thing that we're looking at here. All of these peaks and valleys and ups and downs, now slowly but surely over the years, it has, went up. And if you would have had silver, back from the 70s and you cashed in now, you would make a lot of money. Okay. But once in the 1970s, when it started going up, you're pretty much looking at a normal silver. I mean, you're looking at 7 and something an ounce. It's not been down past, I think it was 10.20. That was May of 2008. A lot of people think this is where we're at right now. 2008, we know what happened with Fannie Mae and Mac and all of the recession and with the stock market. And then we rebounded a couple years later to this, 40 some an ounce. It's pretty close. I think it might have topped off at 43 there just for a little bit. It's hard to get it on that number here. But anyways, the bottom line is it went pretty high. So then it drops and it comes all the way back down again. So then, we're pretty much it shows May of 2020. Right now it's 1850. We're trying to find out. I know it went to 14, but it's not showing everything. There it is, 1457. It's May of 2019. I remember November on the election night that it went to, I think, 20, and then since then, it dropped down. Right now, like I said, it's almost at 18, so it's pretty good price for silver. It's rebounded back to pretty much what it was before all this happened. So we're seeing kind of a normal market, even though it's the ratio is not the same as usual. But the problem is that you want to speculate and you want to hope that silver's even going to go to 20 or 30 an ounce or 100 an ounce or whatever of the next few years. It's going to take a lot to do that. We just found out that physical silver in and of itself was not enough to propel this market. Okay, it's going to take a lot of trading with the paper. And I'm not really sure all the dynamics, whether it was silver being held back, and you can go and argue all the physical silver was being held back. You could argue that, and that's fine. So my thing is this, okay, you need to get into trading if you want to really make some money with the silver. I know people don't like the paper and all that, but that's the bottom line. I mean, it's either that or start you a company up and buy it lower than you could sell it now, because tomorrow it may not be. I mean, if the charts prove anything, tomorrow it may be lower than what it was. When you start looking back in the 30s, like we were looking at that chart, when we start looking back in the 30s, this was when silver was in circulation. And as you can start to see, it started to go up more whenever silver is no longer in circulation. I know it was up to 1970 or 69, and then they still put them in mint sets. But then you start really seeing it go up, because then all of a sudden silver is not just available for face value anymore. And I think that has a lot to do with the market here. And then, of course, you've got people investing in it. You had the Hunts brothers, and you had a lot of different things going on that propelled it up to the highs that it was at. And, of course, that kept it at a consistent, but it kind of dropped back down. It never went back down to what it was here. But $4 and $5 an ounce is really tough whenever you had it is up to here. So we've got it to here, and it's at 18 now. If hopefully this market stays the same, but we don't want it back down to here, because it could go to here again, but it's not going to stay there. There's no guarantee it's going to stay here if it does this again. Okay, it could very well go back down into the 14s again, and that's why I'm saying don't want to speculate. I mean, obviously, what it did in the past doesn't mean it's going to do that in the future. I get that too, but like I said, you just never know with the way the world is, what's going to happen? I mean, someone could come up with an application that needs more silver and all of a sudden demand increases again and it skyrockets. Or someone could come up with an invention that replaces silver as a product, a component in electronics and better, and that causes silver to dump. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. We did not have any idea we was going to have a pandemic that was going to cause silver to drop $2 and $3 an ounce over a weekend's time and pretty much up in the market. Supply chains were messed up. You didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen. I mean, I predicted a lot of things. I knew that when something bad happens, you don't want that to happen, because that sometimes when silver spikes up or down, something has happened that you really don't want to happen. You want it to be a natural progression. You don't want the people to play with the market, but it is kind of being controlled a little bit. When you've got a lot of money and you want to make a few dollars an ounce on your money, all you got to do is sell it off. And yeah, this is what's funny and I'll show you this. You get on Kitco, and I'm kind of getting on the tangent here a little bit, but it's just kind of funny when we're talking about how to make money. Okay, well, this is how you do it. It says gold investors going to have some fun as prices run to 5,000. I mean, are they really? I mean, we're looking at, let's say President Trump says the job market's not as good, the report's worse, then everybody starts buying it or selling it off. They're like, man, we better buy some silver now because people lost their jobs. I mean, it's almost like they just look for an excuse to buy or sell it. And really, is that the reason why they sold it? I mean, you're not selling their physical, they're selling off their paper. It's kind of funny when you get on Kitco. As soon as you see it go up or down, go over to Kitco and read some of the articles why. Okay, I mean, it's actually kind of humorous because it's the same thing over and over for the last couple of decades that I've read about it. So, it's just one of those things. So anyways, thanks for watching my latest video. And like I said, start your own company if you really want to make money. Buy it lower than what you could sell it for now. I'm actively selling. You can hedge it with some paper. You can hedge it. You can sell off what you can and keep back some and all that kind of stuff. Paying premiums is probably not the best way to make money on it. There's no guarantee. Like I said, it could go up, but it's not going to stay up. So you might want to sell it when it's high, or at least some of it. There's a lot of stackers that do that. Thanks for watching my latest video, and have a great day.